Have you ever wondered why we only ever talk about the First or Second Amendments? What about the rights that, aren't written down? Is it possible that the most powerful, expansive protection of your personal freedom in the U.S. Constitution is actually an amendment that essentially says absolutely nothing specific at all? I mean, think about it. If the Bill of Rights is a strict list of things the government can't touch, what happens to the stuff the Founding Fathers just forgot to write down, or couldn't even imagine, like internet privacy, or what you do in your own bedroom? Today, we're diving deep into the absolute weirdest, most misunderstood part of constitutional law, the Ninth Amendment. The common belief is that the Bill of Rights grants us our rights, but here's the crazy part. The founders actually thought writing down our rights was the quickest way to completely lose them. Stick around for this entire video, because we're going to unpack unenumerated rights, some wild Supreme Court decisions, and why this constitutional black hole is basically the only reason you have a right to privacy today. So here's a wild historical fact. The Founding Fathers, like Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, actually thought a Bill of Rights was a terrible idea. Hamilton argued in Federalist 84 that if you write down a list of, say, 10 rights the government can't touch, the government is just going to turn around later and say, "Oh, look, you only listed 10. That means we can completely regulate number 11, 12, and 13. It's basically the ultimate legal loophole. But James Madison had a massive political problem. The anti-federalists were like, "Listen, Jimmy, we are not signing this piece of paper unless you give us a Bill of Rights." So Madison had to figure out a way to list our rights without accidentally implying that those were our only rights. He was basically trying to patch a software bug in the Constitution before it even launched. Before we get into how he solved this impossible puzzle, drop a comment below right now. What is a specific right you think you have, but you're pretty sure isn't actually written anywhere in the Constitution? Like the right to travel. Pause the video, let me know, and let's see who gets it right. Okay, so how did Madison fix the bug? He wrote the Ninth Amendment. It reads, "The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people." It sounds like legal word salad, but imagine you're throwing a massive exclusive party. You give the bouncer a VIP list. First Amendment, Second Amendment, they walk right in. But Madison's Ninth Amendment is basically a sticky note attached to the clipboard that tells the bouncer, "Hey, just because someone's name isn't on this list doesn't mean they aren't invited." It is the constitutional equivalent of a blank check. It protects what legal nerds call unenumerated rights. But here's the truly crazy part. After Madison wrote this brilliant reality-bending amendment, everybody just kind of forgot about it. For literally 150 years, the Supreme Court basically ignored the Ninth Amendment. It just sat there, collecting dust. Fast forward to the 1960s, enter a Supreme Court case called Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965. Connecticut had this super old, really invasive law that made it illegal to use birth control, even for married couples. Estelle Griswold, head of Planned Parenthood, opened a clinic to challenge this law. She gets arrested, and the case goes all the way to the Supreme Court. Now the justices are sitting there going, "This is ridiculous, but where does it say you have a right to privacy?" It doesn't. You can read the Bill of Rights 1,000 times, and the word privacy is literally not in there. So the court finally taps the glass and wakes up the Ninth Amendment. Justice William O. Douglas argued that the specific rights in the Constitution have these shadows. He called them penumbras and emanations. Basically, he said that if you shine a light on the First, Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments, they cast a shadow of privacy. And the Ninth Amendment is the glue holding it all together. proving the founders intended for us to have rights beyond just what's explicitly written in ink. Because of the Ninth Amendment, the court struck down the ban on contraceptives, and that exact legal logic became the scientific and historical foundation for almost every major privacy and bodily autonomy case that followed for the next 50 years. So, did Madison's patch work? Yes and no. The Ninth Amendment is incredibly powerful, but it's also terrifying to some legal scholars, because if our rights aren't written down, who gets to decide what they are? It essentially leaves the Constitution as an unfinished sentence. But wait, if the Ninth Amendment protects the unwritten rights of the people, what happens to the power that's left over for the states themselves? Well, that is exactly where the 10th Amendment comes in. And oh boy, that one is causing a massive civil war in the courts literally right now. You do not want to miss that. Click the video right here on the screen to find out why the 10th Amendment might actually dictate the future of your state. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Smash that like button, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.